Welcome to Beyond the Shelf. I'm Dawn.
I'm Jenny. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
So, Dawn, it's been a minute since we actually recorded, because we recorded a lot ahead of time.
We did.
Do we remember how to do this?
Let's hope so.
Okay.
We've been having a very busy year at the library with our 100th anniversary.
For sure.
And so this month we're taking a little break from that to do a little book to movie adaptation conversation.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we've talked about movie adaptations before, but kind of just brought up a whole bunch of them.
Right.
But this time we decided to focus on a particular book and its movie adaptation.
Right.
So the book that we read is The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead. So this was published in 2019.
I read it in 2021.
Okay. So it was published in 2019, and Whitehead won the, I want to say Pulitzer. Is
That's
it
what I wanted
pronounced that? Or
I always say Pulitzer. I've heard other people say Pulitzer. I have this funny thing about not wanting to use the word pew in any words, so I always say Pulitzer.
Colson Whitehead won the Pulitzer in 2020 for this, Pulitzer in fiction.
Right.
That was the second time he had won the Pulitzer Prize. He also won it for The Underground Railroad in 2017.
Yeah.
So
He's a pretty prolific writer.
Yeah.
First I want to know, did you like the book?
I want to say yes, I did, but this book is not lighthearted.
No.
At all.
No.
And so it feels kind of weird to be like, I did like this book, but I think this book is important, is a better way to put it than whether I liked it. I liked it because Whitehead very well put something that I think is very important.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's okay to say I liked this book. I did not enjoy the material that this book had to cover.
Sure.
You know, obviously.
That's a good way to put it, yeah. The Nickel Boys is about these boys who are sent to a reformatory school in Florida. But it's not really a school. And they don't really reform anybody either.
Well, they do, but not in the way that we would look at reforming now.
Yeah.
They do it through violence, you know, and
It's not even like corporal punishment.
No.
It's literally violence.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Including capital punishment.
Yeah.
Not everyone survived that went to that school. It's based on a true story of a school that what was the name of that school that's based on?
It was the Dozier School.
Yes. And that school was like 150 years that it was, because it just shut down in 2011.
Yeah. It was opened in like 1909 or something. Or 1900, something like that.
Over 100 years.
Yeah.
I was just astounded when I found out that it just shut down in 2011.
I was as well. I listened to the audiobook version of this. When I got to the end and they're doing like the acknowledgments and the things at the end. And I think it's Colson Whitehead actually does that bit at the end because the book was not read by the author. And he mentions this. He talks about how it's based on the Dozier School. And I paused the book and I was just like, wait, I'm sorry. This was real. This was based on real events. I'm continually shocked by how cruel humans can be to each other.
Yeah. It's astounding.
But that's why I said I think that this book is important, is that it tells a story, because there were hundreds of kids who went through this school who were physically, mentally, I'm sure emotionally, completely traumatized and abused. And like you said, some of them didn't make it out. When I think it was in the late 60s that at the actual Dozier School, physical punishment was banned, which isn't to say that's necessarily when it stopped, but that's when it was banned.
Right.
But
the book takes place in the 60s,
it does.
For sure.
It takes place in like 64 or 67, something like that. When the Dozier School was closed in 2011, they began to do some study of the grounds, and they found the cemetery. But what they also found was hundreds of other unmarked graves as well. And I think that was truly what devastated me, is the fact that these kids were sent there for minor infractions. They skipped school. They talked back to a teacher. They were found smoking cigarettes. And then they were basically like sent to be tortured. I want to say they were sent to hell.
Right. On Earth. Yeah.
Basically. This book reminds me of things like reading Night by, I don't want to mispronounce the author's name, Eli Wiesel. I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but like about his experience with the Holocaust. I think it's along that same line that it's important that those stories are still shared.
Right. This is not, even though it's fiction, based on a true story, based on reality of that school, this is not an entertainment book.
No.
This is not a book that you're going to pick up. This is not lighthearted.
It's not a beach read, for sure.
No, it's a short book, really. It doesn't take too long to read it. Maybe 7 hours listening.
6 or 7, yeah.
But it's definitely heavy. It's very heavy. And as we're going to get into the movie also, and we'll talk about some of the differences between the book and the movie, but the book, it was pretty explicit in some places
for sure.
on the abuse that these boys endured.
Yeah.
To
Colson Whitehead's credit, and I think the reason that he's won awards for his writing is that even though this is such a heavy topic, he does write it in a way that, yeah, it's explicit, but it keeps your attention and you want to hear the whole story. And when it got to the end and you got that reveal, I was shocked there too.
Were you really?
I was. Oh. I was surprised because of the way that he tells the story. You get to the end and I don't want to give it away.
Right.
But I mean, this is like a 5-year-old book, 4 or 5. Yeah.
Right. This is a book that is 4 or 5 years old. This is not a book for a 4 or 5-year-old.
No, this is definitely a book for adults. This is an adult book. For sure.
Older teens can read it as well. But so Elwood is the main character, along with, I think it was Jack. Was it Jack Turner or John Turner? Now I can't remember.
He just went by
Turner. He had a first name, but I think it's only mentioned like one time.
Yeah.
And he only went by Turner.
Right.
And they became friends at the school and tried to protect one another. I feel like Turner was there for, he had done something wrong, an infraction that, like Elwood was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, that's another example of what the justice system looked like in the 60s for a young black man. There was no justice. He found himself in the wrong place at the wrong time. He was in a car being driven by a guy who stole the car.
Right.
He had no idea the car was stolen. I don't even think that he knew the guy's name.
Well, no, he was hitchhiking. Yeah. Because it wasn't illegal to hitchhike at that time. Right. And he was trying to get to college. He had, I don't know if he'd gotten a scholarship or however it worked. He was going to college. And, he was a young black man walking along the road. Lots of people went by, didn't pick him up. But then another black man that was driving in the book, I don't remember, but in the movie, it was a teal Impala.
That's what they said Impala in movie. I think in the book it was like a Plymouth.
Okay,
but yeah, it was still like a bright teal car.
Yeah.
But so yeah, Elwood has no idea that this man has stolen this car. He's in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah,
and
his grandmother that raised him, she couldn't afford an attorney to try and fight that. It was just like, okay, Elwood, I'm sorry, honey. I know. I mean, the grandma even's like, I failed you, and I'm sorry, but you go and serve your time, and you'll get out, and you'll go to school, and everything. It'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that Whitehead does an excellent job of portraying the injustices of the time and the injustices that the boys suffered at this school. And the real school that Nickel is based on, the Nickel Academy is based on, it wasn't just the boys of color who were abused and had violence upon them. It was the white boys there as well.
Yeah. And the point of view, the way the story is written, it's third person point of view. And the narrator at that time is Elwood, kind of, sharing his experiences, but it's more like taking place Like he's sharing his experience as an older man of what happened to him as a child and what happened to the other children. And he's looking at like newspaper clippings and that sort of thing. And it's showing the graves that were found. And, you know, and I don't remember in the book if he had a woman, but in the movie he had, which I assume is his wife.
He did. In the book and the movie, they
I told you I read it 4 years ago. It's hard to remember.
No, he has a girlfriend at one point, but I think because he hadn't really let himself recognize the trauma he had gone through, that first relationship doesn't work out.
Okay.
And then later he's married and he's able to like tell his wife about things that he went through and the other boys who were at the school.
So, but the major difference between the book and the movie was, like I said, the book was third person. The movie is in first person.
The movie is shot in a very interesting way.
Yeah.
Where you are seeing everything mostly from Elwood's point of view and then at other times from Turner's point of view.
Yeah. It's very unique.
I was confused by it at first. I was like, what is this? Because they kind of show, instead of like going through Elwood's life in the way that the book does, they kind of show like these, like, it's like a memory. Right. These little scenes from like Elwood as a child, young
on
child.
a tire swing, but it's not showing Elwood on a tire swing. It would actually, the way that it is shot is you're swinging on the tire swing and you're seeing the world go by as you're on the swing.
Right.
Because you are the first person. You're the person that is viewing this. It's so unique. It's so cinematic. It
was, yeah.
But honestly, if I had not read the book and just jumped in through the movie, I'd have been lost.
I agree.
So lost. I personally, if anybody's listening to this, you need to read the book first. First and foremost, I think everybody should read this book. It's, like you said, it's an important book. It's part of our history, shameful history, but it's still part of history. Right. And the book needs to be read. But in order to watch the movie, you definitely need to read the book first. It's confusing.
Yeah, I think the movie can be very confusing because there's a lot that's not explicitly said, and you might pick up what they're saying, they're trying to portray. But if you've read the book, then you understand a little bit more of what that means.
Right. And the movie, which I did appreciate, though, all of the the violence almost exclusively happened behind closed doors. Yeah. So you're not a part of that. You're not a witness to that.
You're not seeing a child being beaten.
So what you might see, though, is you, as the viewer, being in first person, you'll see yourself walk into the room. And you'll see what might be in that room waiting for you. And then it might pan to another person like outside of the room, and it shows that person watching the door shut and hearing the noises and sounds of what's happening behind the closed door. It's kind of hard to explain it, really.
It is because it's a unique way of filming. I don't know that I've seen another movie shot the same way.
Not that I can think of. And also in the movie, they incorporated a lot of actual footage from the school.
I thought that was really interesting. There's the scene where Elwood is being punished for breaking up a fight because from, the administrator guard, the adult's point of view, he was a part of a fight. And so he's being punished for that. And each time you hear like this belt hitting him, there's a click and you see another face. And it took me a minute to realize, I was like, wait, those are the faces of boys who were at the actual Dozier school.
They're not real clear. The pictures are not.
It's not super clear.
They're pictures, black and white, taken from the 60s with I would say, not great camera anyhow. And they haven't held up. It's been 50 years.
Over time. Yeah. And so, it took me a moment. I was like, wait, those are faces. Yeah. And then I was like, oh my gosh, are those actual faces? I actually paused the movie to Google it because I wanted to know. Yeah. And then later on throughout the movie, they also have footage, and it's not graphic. It's just the boys working on the grounds or walking around, or it's just a picture of them standing on a porch or something. But the fact that they use that in the movie to again, like, tie into real life to people. Like, this is the thing that happened. This is history.
Yeah.
I thought was such a great choice, honestly, on the part of the people who made the movie.
And they used part of Martin Luther King speech, the actual footage from the, the television speech. And they also used, like they were at the movies seeing a Sidney Poitier movie. The director / producer, whoever, just made very interesting choices, very unique choices. And this film, it was good. And now, if I had, like I said, if I had just jumped in and tried to watch it, I would have been so confused and may not have even stuck with it. But since I read the book, I was glad that I could watch it. They also had footage of, like, from the mass grave that they found. They showed pictures of, like, some of the buttons that the boys would have had on their shirts, or
a belt buckle, or something like that. Yeah,
it just intertwined in the movie, and it also shows it as, like, Elwood, who's, like I said, is telling the story. It shows him looking at a computer and telling his wife they found more things, and it kind of showed. And it was really well done. And I forgot to look and see, did the movie win any prizes?
I was actually just looking that up because
awards.
It did win some awards.
Yeah.
It won some prizes. It won it had 2 nominations at the Academy Awards for Best Picture and Best Adapted Screenplay. I don't think it won that. It also had a Best Motion Picture Drama nomination at the Golden Globes. So this came out in 2024. The movie did, so just last year. It did win Best Cinematography at the Independent Spirit Awards. And
it definitely deserved that.
And it was named one of the top 10 films of 2024 by the American Film Institute.
Okay.
So it did get, like, a lot of nominations and accolades, but it doesn't look like it won anything specifically.
Not the big ones, like an Oscar or whatever. Right. But yeah. It's hard to even talk about, like you said, we don't want to give away a lot either, but we both appreciated the book for what it was. I can't remember if I gave it a 4 or 5 on Goodreads, which is anything above a 4 for me is like a really good rating, because I'm harsh on books. Everybody knows that.
Jenny is harsh.
But just watching the film also really, just punches it in there and really, poor choice of words, but it really drives it home. It really drives home,
yeah. I thought it was great. Because I had read the book just, like, last week and then watched the movie, like, yesterday, I recognized some of the dialogue from the movie was directly from the book. They used some actual lines. And that's, I think, a thing for people who become fans of a book, or you read a book. Sometimes we want, like, verbatim onto the screen, which isn't a thing that can happen. That's why we have adaptations. But some of the really poignant or important parts, they kept those lines in.
Good.
Like, there's a scene where Elwood and Turner are painting this lady's porch, and Turner is like, there's only 4 ways to get out of Nickel. And Elwood says, no, I'm going to make a 5th way. And the way that they kind of, like, show that, there's, like, that speech. There's a couple of other speeches or just kind of moments when a character talks that are almost direct from the book.
Yeah, I love that. Even though it wasn't based, it could have been a little bit, but The Outsiders, S.E. Hinton, the movie did so good in that. The dialogue matched the book so well. We'll
have to do that sometime, because I've not read or seen The Outsiders.
That's on our schedule for 2026 for sure. The next
time we do a book to movie 100%. Adaptation. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I think it's great, and it shows that the people who made this movie recognized that some of the way that Colson Whitehead wrote, or, like, some thoughts that he had characters speak, were important enough that they should be shared.
Yeah.
And, like, I did notice, like, there were things that weren't exactly the same between them. Like,
sure,
in the book, Elwood has a record that has some of Martin Luther King's speeches on it. In the movie, his teacher plays them in class and then gives Elwood the record later. Mm-hmm. So they're just like minor things like that.
And wasn't there a teacher in the book that was white, but they made him black in the movie? I think.
I don't remember that.
Well, I could be remembering incorrectly.
So, yeah, there's one teacher that is really influential on Elwood, and because he
in his actual school,
not at the Nickel school,
right.
but at his actual school, because this teacher had been part of the civil rights movement and tells the class about it. And
but wasn't that teacher white in the book?
I didn't think he was. I don't remember now.
I don't know. I don't know. If any of our listeners do their research better than we did and go and read it, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing that I found confusing with the book, because I did listen to the audiobook, is it took me a moment to realize as I got into a chapter where it was from like older Elwood's point of view. And all of a sudden, and I'm like, who's Denise?
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
So that took, once I recognized that, and then like as I continued listening, I'm like, okay, I get this. We're like doing a reflection. There was one scene in the movie that I thought was really interesting how they shot this. So it's still from Elwood's point of view, but he's older and he's sitting in a bar. And he sees a guy who was also one of the children at Nickel. And adult Elwood, after getting out of the school, is able to start a business and move himself up in the world. But a lot of the boys, and in real life, a lot of the boys who were at the Dozier school did not, because of the trauma, like they became alcoholics, or they found their way into prison later. Like they just continued down, that path. But Elwood is able to start a business and overcome his past. And when he runs into this guy at the bar, they kind of have this conversation, but it's very awkward because like the other guy wants to talk about, what they went through, and Elwood does not. And when they part ways, they kind of hug briefly, and the way they shot this is it's his friend as an adult who comes in for the hug, but when they step away, it's the kid version of him. And I just thought that was so interesting, because when we run into somebody from our past, sometimes it's hard to see them as who they are now.
Right.
We always imagine them as who they were when we knew them back then.
Right, yeah.
And so they kind of did that visually with this guy. And like, even though Elwood was able to overcome some of the things that he endured, his friend was still very much struggling. And so in a lot of ways, his friend was still like the child version of himself.
Yeah. It's like you said, if I run into somebody that I went to elementary school with, my vision in my head of them is elementary school. They're not, they're my age.
Yeah.
They're not, 10
years
anymore.
Old, exactly, yeah. I just had
Time did not actually stand still for them. It kept going also.
I just had a high school reunion like a month ago, and seeing some of my classmates and like what they looked like in high school is not at all what they look like now. Like some of them look like real adult professional business people. Yeah. So that conflict between like the way you remember and like even how our past struggles can affect how we see each other and behave now and everything. I thought that was a really cool thing to do with the film. Yeah.
And I think, without giving anything away too with the movie, did you feel like how did you like the ending, the actual ending of the movie? Did you feel like it was very abrupt?
It did, because the way the movie came in with like the flashbacks and it was very abstract is also how it ended. I mean, in the book, you don't really get like the end wrapped up in a bow either. Like,
true.
That's not how real life is either. Things don't end up in a bow. Like, we're still dealing with things. But the movie did kind of just
stop.
It
just ended. And so, to be honest, when that happened, even though I'd read the book, I was like, did I forget to pay Amazon? I was like,
and they just stopped the movie right in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, no. I definitely, as I was watching the movie, because I just read the book, I was like, okay, this is almost over. Like, I know that this is, but how they chose to show the ending of the movie was in like clips and fragments the same way that it started, which is a cool way to like bookend it as well.
Yeah.
Like they definitely had some very intentional artistic ideas in the way that they were making this movie.
Very artsy. And it honestly is not a type of movie that I would usually gravitate towards watching. It would have lost me for sure within the first 5 minutes had I not read the book.
Yeah. Again, I think if you wanted to watch this movie, I would highly recommend reading the book first.
Definitely.
And it's only like a 6-hour read, so not very long. And the movie is
about 2 hours.
Yeah. So take a day. Check it out.
Yeah. You know, if you're a slow reader, that's okay. Listen to it.
Sure.
So, to wrap up that, are you glad that you read it?
I am. I actually, when we had this idea that we wanted to do a recent book that had a recent adaptation, and I told one of our coworkers what we were doing, she kind of looked at me and was like, "Are you sure about that? Like, maybe you should read How to Train Your Dragon or something instead. That would be much more lighthearted." Yeah. And to be fair, like going into this, like I read the description, but I had no idea.
Yeah.
I had no idea how intense this was going to be, or the fact that this book was based on real experiences in a real place. But just to repeat ourselves, it's so important. It really is. So I am glad I read it. I don't usually read stuff that is really popular and like wins well-known awards. I usually read like really random, obscure, whatever. So this is different, but I think I'm glad I read it.
Good. Me too. I was glad I read it. That's why when I suggested it, when we were talking about that, it's like, it's a really good book. It's heavy. It's hard, it's heavy, but it's good. Like you said, this whole year has just flown by, has been so full of events and things. So November is it slowing down, or do we got a lot going on in November?
It is not really slowing down. Fall story times are in swing. I've actually been working really hard on a fun program for the second Saturday in November, November 8th, called OrCon. So this is going to be the library's first Comic-Con event. So a Comic-Con, if you don't know, is like a big event where fans of all different kinds of shows and movies and comic books and stuff all come together to just be nerds together and talk about their favorite things. So that is what we're going to do here on Saturday, November 8th from 11 to 2. So we're going to have some cosplayers, which are people who dress in like screen accurate costumes, specifically the 501st Legion. They dress as characters from a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah. We interviewed them a couple years ago.
We did, yes. We're also going to have a cosplay contest. So if you want to try your hand at like putting together a costume, we'll have prizes from Sweets and Geeks for that, which Sweets and Geeks is basically a nerd store. They have candy. And they also have a bunch of nerdy things.
Okay.
Hence their name. We'll have a couple of food trucks, and then there's going to be crafts and activities and a speed puzzling contest as well.
Wow.
Happening.
All right. And book club is continuing on November 13th at 10 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. They are going to be reading After Annie, and this is written by Anna Quindlen. I don't know. Is this fiction or is it?
It is fiction.
Okay.
I don't know at all what it's about, though.
I don't know if Annie was named after the author, whose name is Anna. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Read the book and come tell us what it's about.
This is
we
a
don't
book
know.
that I have not read.
All right. So that is on a Thursday. The book club is always on second Thursday. And then the following day, on Friday, November 14th, we're going to have another Teens Cook program. We are going to, from start to finish, make bread in an hour and a half.
That's pretty
ambitious. I think.
Yes.
There is a registration for that. That is open now. And since that's a teen program, that's open to 6th graders through 12th graders.
Okay. And then the day after that, November 15th, we're going to have another puzzle time, or is this a separate?
This is just an open family puzzling.
Okay.
This other one.
A family puzzle time, and it's all day, it says, on Saturday. So there'll just be different puzzles set out for you can just sit down and do. You're not racing. It's just to sit down and have fun with your family.
That family puzzle time, yeah. It's just there's going to be puzzles of various sizes. It's mostly just like a come and hang out and have fun, yeah.
All right. This past week, I mean, I know this is coming out the first Friday in November, but so then there'll be a couple of them. We've been doing the Mystery Mondays, and that is going to continue until November 17th. Is that the last one?
No, it's continuing for like 3 or 4 months or so.
Oh,
so
okay.
The next one, the first one was in October on like the 20th. So the next one is November 17th for Mystery Mondays.
Yeah, at 6:00, and our Jennifer leads that, and she said so they've done one at this point, and she said it was really a lot of fun, and a lot of people showed up, so we'd love to have more people, and I don't think you have to register for that, do you?
You do not. So for the first Mystery Monday in October, they solved a mystery together. For this one in November, they're going to be reading a book.
Okay.
So if you want to know what that book is, go ahead and give us a call or stop in the library and you can get a copy. I don't know what it is.
We don't know what
now.
It is yet. Okay.
No.
But when this podcast is released, we'll know.
Yes.
So past selves do not know. Future selves will know.
Exactly. We will know in the future.
We're also doing a time jump in this podcast.
So the next Teen Book Box registration starts on November 17th as well. That always runs for 2 weeks, so it'll go through the 29th. Teens in grades 6 through 12 can tell me what they like to read, and I will put it together in a box for them to pick up in December.
Like the first week in December?
Well, not exactly.
December 8th is the first Monday, 8th through the 12th?
Yep, it'll be the 8th through the 13th that they can pick up their book boxes.
We will also let everyone know we will be closed for Thanksgiving, which is late this year. It's on November 27th, but we will be open the day after, and we will also be participating on one of the stops at Home for the Holidays.
We will be.
And we'll be open until 8 that night.
Correct.
And in the past, Santa has showed up. I am assuming he'll come visit us again, but I don't know for sure.
We're usually one of Santa's stops.
Yeah.
So we do have, before Thanksgiving on the 20th, we'll have the Youth Book Club at 4 p.m. and that's for 4th to 6th grade. And then at 5 p.m. will be the Teen Book Club, which is 6th to 12th grade.
And that's a Thursday.
That is also a Thursday. And then in December, Polar Express will be back on December 4th and 5th. The registration for that will open up a little bit later in November. So if you've got I think Polar Express goes from like preschool to 4th grade or something along those lines. And
okay.
It's great. I love Polar Express so much.
All right. Well, I think does that wrap up Thanksgiving? Does that wrap up November? Thanksgiving kind of wraps up November also.
It does.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. If anybody has any suggestions, like Dawn and I were just talking about books to movies, if you have one they're like, oh, let's get these girls to do this, game. Let us know. We'll give it a shot. Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you at the library.